We on the grind, it's game time. Light shine, all eyes on the line. Every move, every play, we define. Hardy live, feeling prime. From the bench to the field, we climb. Champion rise, this our time. No fear, no limits, we prime. Bring the heat, watch it shine. This leg is on, we on grind. It's game time. Light shine, all eyes on the line. Every move, every play, we define. Heart be loud, feel the prime. From the bench to the field, we climb.
You're watching Indiana Girls High School basketball tonight on the ISC Sports Network. And tonight's game is brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, putting family first. Healthy Communities of Clinton County, making the healthy choice the easy choice. Mulberry Telecommunications, your local hometown fiber provider. The Frankfurt Eagles Post 976, people helping people. And the Willow Creek Barn, providing a picturesque setting for the barn wedding of your dreams. Tonight, it's the Faith Christian Eagles who come in with a 1-1 overall record in a non-conference matchup with the 2-0 Carroll Cougars out of the Hoosier Heartland Conference. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rick Johnston, joined alongside by Kristen Hazley. And Kristen, Carroll coming off of a convincing win. They put up over 70 points in their first two games to start the season. They were right on a lot of youth a season ago, and they've matured into a really nice ball club here 2 games into 25-26.
You're absolutely right, Rick. Carroll has gotten this season off to a big start for them, 2-0. Lots of offense moving so far for them. And, you know, a 7-0 win or 7-0 win streak coming into this matchup against Faith Christian. They'll look to make it 8, and you mentioned it, a young team that's just growing and getting better each season. Our pregame show brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, putting family first. On the other side for the Eagles of Faith Christian, they won their opener, fell to Fountain Central by just 10, 43-33 last Friday. They're trying to clean some things up after that win against Cecina to start the year. Yeah, good bounce back for them against Cecina, really trying to figure out their team identity, seeing who can be some of those supporting cast members, obviously, to, you know, Joanna Haste and music, and trying to see where's our backup plan, where can we find success on the offense and defensive end. First look at our venue tonight here at Carroll High School, presented by the Willow Creek Barn, where nature's beauty meets rustic elegance. And you see the records there on your screen. It's been a one-sided affair here for Carroll. The volleyball team for Faith Christian made the state finals this year, so they're still trying to get some of those players back and get them into basketball shape. You're a multi-sport athlete growing up. What's that transition like going from your fall sport into your winter sport when some of your teammates have already been doing the winter sport for a couple of weeks? Yeah, it can be tough. I mean, you talk about the natural gelling process of a team, as well as there's some of those preseason workouts that you may have missed. Yeah. So it's a bit of an adjustment period. Obviously, switching sport to sport is difficult enough on its own. Very little break, but you know, that's why these early season games are great measuring sticks to see, okay, where are they at and how far can both of these teams progress throughout the season. Take a look at our keys to victory presented by Tier 1 Meat Company, where every cut is elite and every customer is family. Yeah, tonight, value the ball. Both of these teams thrive off of turnovers. You talk about Faith Christian, they generate a lot of their offense from their defensive end. Crash the glass. I expect Carroll to really put on a show, whether it's on the offensive board or the defensive board, and I think limiting those second chances is going to be the third key here for a tight game on both teams. Like we said, Faith Christian likes to bounce off from the defensive end, and Carroll will dominate you up on the board, so it should be an interesting matchup tonight. Carroll put the clamps on Taylor when they were on this floor last Wednesday. They forced almost 30 turnovers and barely let Taylor get over midcourt as they shut them out in the second half. They'll try to provide that stingy home court defense here again against the Eagles of Faith Christian. We'll have starting lineups and opening tip next here on the ISC Sports Network.
At Wampler's Disposal and Recycling, we take pride in offering waste management for commercial and residential clients. As an industry leader, Wampler's Disposal and Recycling brings the most professional and responsive collection service in the business. Since 1948, our family-owned and operated company has provided excellent service at competitive rates. We offer container rentals as well. Our longevity in the industry is a testament to our excellent service. We serve all of Clinton, Tippecanoe, Boone, Howard, and Carroll counties. For all your waste removal needs, call Wampler Services Incorporated today. You can reach us at 765-659-3721. Visit us online at wamplerservicesinc.com.
The Willow Creek Barn has been voted the best of weddings on the knot for 4 years running. The Willow Creek Barn has earned its reputation for a reason. With breathtaking grounds, a stunning barn, and a staff that goes above and beyond, making sure that every detail is perfect, your wedding day will be seamless, joyful, and unforgettable. From the first look to the last dance, your happily ever after starts here. To book your dream wedding, visit thewillowcreekbarn.com.
Healthy Communities of Clinton County is committed to reduce the risk factors contributing to chronic disease, including health disparities by decreasing stigma and encouraging positive changes. HCCC is here for the community with systems of care navigators, insurance assistance, prenatal classes, mental health programs, substance use prevention, and more. To help make the healthy choice the easy choice, contact us at 659-6063 or through our website, healthyclintoncounty.org.
Back at Carroll High School, time for the starting lineup is presented by Ardente Dental. Healthy smiles start here, and here's the starting five for the visiting Faith Christian Eagles, led by their second-year head coach, Bob Kaplinger. Wearing number 3 is the senior Hannah Bolton. Wearing number 22 is freshman Reese Harmon. Freshman Liz Bryan wearing number 2. She makes her first appearance of the season, did not play in the first 2 games for Faith Christian. Number 22 is Grayson Music. She's a junior. Number 30, Julia Smart, had 10 points and 3 rebounds in her sophomore debut against Cecina. And then the top scorer, the top player for Faith Christian is number 31, Johanna Haste. The junior had 29 points on 13 of 24 shooting against Cecina in the opener. She was 12 of 15 from inside the arc, and she's the leading returning scorer from last year's team. As the lights go dark here at Carroll, we'll get to introduce you to starters for the Carroll Cougars, who are 2-0, led by 7th-year head coach Brady Wiles. The freshman point guard is number 3, Kinley Randall. She beat out Briley Springer, the sophomore, for that starting point guard spot. She was a menace defensively with 7 steals last week against Taylor. Maddie Isley wears number 4. She's a sophomore. Did not play against Taylor last week. She had 13 points and 7 rebounds in the opener. Eliza Reinhardt, the junior, moves from the point guard spot to the shooting guard and wing position this year. She had a double-double the first of the year for anyone on Carroll last Wednesday against Taylor. Jillian Saltz, the leading point getter, rebounder, and shot blocker from last season. She's a senior. She wears number 11. And her classmate Olivia Schroeder wears number 21. She's made a huge leap defensively, has been a real defensive stopper this season and last for the Carroll Cougars. Last year, a dream season for Carroll, 18-8. Won the sectional championship, lost to North Miami in the regional. That was the first sectional title for the Cougars since 2022. And the big question, Kristen, going into last year's season, they lost in 2 players over 4,000 career points, including freshman Katie Harness's older sister, Allie, who's now at Western Michigan. They answered the bell now, and all that youthful experience from a year ago comes back as seasoned veterans now.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Jillian Saltz, leader of this team, not only in points, rebounds, really just the heart of this team in general. And then, behind her, you talk about Eliza Reinhardt getting some experience as well. And her classmate, Olivia Schroeder, another key piece for this Carroll Cougars team. Honestly, the experience is going to be driving them hopefully deeper into the season, but a great supporting cast of underclassmen as well for this Carroll Cougar team.
Opening tap, controlled quickly by Eliza Reinhardt. Down underneath the Randall, who's bumped, and coming the other way is Faith Christian and Grayson Music. Official tonight, presented by Wampler's Disposal Service and Recycling, where recycling makes sense. Chad Myers, Dean Martin, not that Dean Martin, and Terry Baker. So both teams come up empty as Carroll out and running here with Reinhardt. When Brady Wiles talked to us heading into last week's game, Kristen, he mentioned the big key this year was moving Reinhardt off the ball as he challenged both Springer, who will come off the bench, and Randall, 3 and white, to step up their game and allow Reinhardt to do that would make them a better team as Faith Christian goes to a 3-2 zone to start.
Yeah, as they're able to free Reinhardt up more, whether it is in the wing or on the post, obviously having someone else handle the ball and be that high IQ ball player is just going to elevate Carroll deeper and deeper into the season. You talked about Kinley Randall and how she eventually won that point guard battle there and really just offers a lot for the Carroll Cougars on the offensive and the defensive end.
It was a half-court trap. Randall got her hands in there along with the help of Saltz. Tap to the backcourt, but then dribbling off the sideline is Grayson Music. And a misstep there for the Eagles. So both teams looking for their first points here 57 seconds in.
Not surprising to see Carroll putting the defensive pressure on right away. They're a very physical team. A lot of times you'll see them, as drains the 3, see them in a man-to-man, but you will see them pick up here this full court pressure.
Saltz rainbows in a 3. She is 4 of 5 In the win last week against Taylor, 4 of now 5 of 7 on the young campaign. Freshman Bryan making her first appearance of the season. Pass deflected, saved by the defender Saltz, and the Cougars go out for a run, leading by 3. Nice job by Music to step into the passing lane with Isley looking for Reinhardt. Isley had just average of 6 points per game last year as Faith Christian now slides to a 2-3 zone defense. Saltz puts it on the deck, double team, shot was blocked. Out of bounds by the shot blocker, Hannah Bolton.
Yeah, I'm not so surprised to see Faith Christian in that 2-3 zone there. Honestly, they're going to try and limit Saltz. They're going to try and make someone else on that Cougars team beat them.
Randall's 3, too much on it, but a loose ball foul called against one of 2 Eagles down low as they were bracketing Reinhardt on the block. Foul on Grayson Music, her first, team's first.
Yeah, and that's one of the players for Faith Christian you really don't want to see get into too much foul trouble. I'm sure being in this zone is probably one of those key ideas is, can we limit foul trouble?
Nice rebound down low. Isley off of the Salt's 3-point miss. Shot was blocked. Tried to throw it off of the defender near her. Got saved in. Randall weaves through everybody. Throws it in off the window and draws the foul.
How about that by the freshman? Kinley Randall just not giving up on the play. Able to find that rebound. Drive through 2-3 defenders there and just finishes through the contact. Well done there by Randall.
And Randall able to complete the 3-point play. Was just 2 of 7 from the free throw stripe coming in. Good to see her bounce that average up here a little bit as a freshman. And Carroll trying to answer with a zone of their own. 3-point shot from Hannah Bolton is off the iron and out of bounds. Saltz was the first one there, and she lets it go out of play.
Yeah, Carroll Cougars will continue, I think, to put that full court pressure on and then drop back into that zone. Potentially could be, the half-court offense, score versus stop defense. You'll see that a lot in the older ranks as they rotate based on what they've done down the floor.
Pass thrown into traffic, block-to-block passing from Isley to Reinhardt's no good. And here comes Faith Christian on the break with Liz Bryan running the show. Bryan got into the body of Saltz, sent out of play, and it stays here with the Eagles.
I like that idea there by Liz Bryan. Coming down the court, carrying the ball, not something she's typically comfortable with, but sees that Saltz is there and tries to drive at her with some contact. I like the aggression.
First touch tonight for Johanna Haste. Music bluffs a 3 with Saltz sliding out to defend. Pass sent up high and still able to gather it in Bolton. Runs into 3 different defenders, and Reinhardt stripped it, and here come the Cougars the other way. Touch pass to the far side, and Schroeder sent out by Faith Christian.
And you see down the court, Faith Christian just really struggling to get into any sort of offensive rhythm early. Obviously, credit Carroll's defensive pressure, but that was one of our keys to the game is, can you value the ball, especially if you're Faith Christian. You know that pressure's coming and is going to test your point guard.
The freshman Taylor Hill, 1 in maroon, checks in for Faith Christian. The little leaner from Randall doesn't go. Reinhardt cleans it up through contact, and she's got a chance at 3.
Again, we go to the second key of the game. You got to limit those second chances and dominate the board, especially on the defensive end if you're Faith Christian. You see Julia Smart there trying to battle down on the blocks, but doesn't get a box out on anyone, and easy enough for Carroll to grab the board and put it back up.
Reinhardt has struggled from the line this season. Missed, going back up, blocked from behind was Isley. And then stolen by Isley near midcourt. Reinhardt now just 3 of 10 on the freebies. Saltz surveys, bounces one into traffic, able to snatch it away. Reinhardt off of 1 foot and off the glass and in.
Well, I think we've seen early where Carroll wants to make their name known down on that post. You see them continually moving around the post and finding those down low inserts for a couple quick, easy baskets to start this one off.
Full timeout here for Faith Christian. We'll keep it here with 4:29 left to play in the first. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Frankfort Eagles, Post 976, serving our community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, the Frankfort Eagles offers something for everyone. For more information on who they are and what they do, please visit FOE.com or stop by 408 North Main Street in Frankfort. So a 10-0 start here for Carroll. As we mentioned, locking up with Faith Christian. They have won all 9 matchups over the last number of years against FC. Last year's win, 37-30, a low-scoring affair for Carroll as they were held to just 31% shooting and just 2 of 20 from three-point range. A much better start shooting the ball here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Carroll's gotten out to a really quick start this quarter. You know, Faith Christian has gradually come along as a program over the past 10, 15 years, genuinely becoming more and more competitive. They're a 1A school, but you said it, that last year's matchup, they did a great job of limiting that Carroll offense. This year, we saw it already. Kind of a little bit on the size disadvantage there, and Carroll's doing a nice job of taking advantage of it in the post.
Baseline out of bounds, back at their end of the floor, or the defensive end of the floor for Hannah Bolton and Faith Christian, with Jillian Saltz back there trying to apply some pressure on the guard, Music. Quick passing, swung out, Music open for a three, and she swished it.
Much better there by Faith Christian. You see them going into their press breaker, able to move the ball quickly enough that Carroll can't drop into that zone and find the quick open three.
Last year, Music just 5 of 10 from three. She reads the pass beautifully here. A little 2-on-1 with Haste, who goes up and is fouled. Haste went up hard, and Randall got her on the arm.
And that is their bread and butter combo right there. Music to Haste to Music. They are going to be key if if Faith Christian is going to stay and keep this game competitive.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, with locations in Frankfort, Flora, Mulberry, and Rossville. The compassionate, experienced staff at Day and Genda Funeral Home are dedicated to providing a loving and genuine environment for you to honor your loved one. For more information on our services and community involvement, please visit dayandgenda.com. Day and Genda Funeral Home, where we put family first. 0 for 2 trip there for Haste, who's had her struggles at the free throw line. It was just 2 of 4 in the opener against Cecina and just 42% last season.
And Johanna Haste, as their #1 rebounder, you'd love to see her improve that from the line, because if she can get that board and go straight up, more than likely she's going to be fouled as well.
There's Music with Saltz, that arm extended in the air defending her. She has the only 3 points for Faith Christian here, but Carroll's been a little bit of a scoring job over the last couple of minutes since jumping out of that 10-0 lead. Looking for help is Hill. Music straight away from distance this time off the back rim. And last touch on the poke out there from Bolton.
And you see Faith Christian just figuring out that 3-2 zone, more of a 2-3, honestly, that Carroll's in, got the 3 up top, kind of protecting that arc. They do a nice job of finding Haste at the free throw line, zone collapse, a nice kick for an open 3.
Faith Christian answering with a 3-2 zone of their own. As this is Randall, freshman point guard that won the job during preseason practice. Audrey Richardson in here for Carroll. She started last week in place of Isley. It takes over for Isley here on the floor. Hand check foul out near midcourt. That's the 4th one on Faith Christian here in the first quarter.
Yeah, just a silly foul there by Johanna Haste. You don't want to get in foul trouble again, you know, especially this early in the game. But when you're one of the few players that can compete down on the post with Carroll, it becomes even more important to stay out of foul trouble.
Faith Christian switching to the man-to-man zone after the sideline inbound. Tristan Harder is checked in as well for Carroll. Ball knocked out of her hands. Kay stays here with the Cougars. Briley Springer, 0 and white in there as well. So the only starter remaining on the floor, the only 2 actually, are Schroeder, who just inbounded it, and Saltz, who just saved it from going into the backcourt. Harder sees Richardson cutting in, threw it in amongst 2 defenders. Kick out for a Schroeder 3. Long. And then able to dash in with Springer. 3 from the other side, and this one good for Tristan Harder.
Well done there by Carroll. Again, doing a nice job of moving the ball around. Seen a couple different defensive looks from Faith Christian there on that trip down the court. But they do a nice job of finding those soft spots and continuing to move the ball.
Haste got it back, poked it away from Schroeder. Nice step through from Haste, through 2 defenders and off glass.
It's a beautiful post move there by Haste. Excellent work against 3 defenders on the post.
Faith Christian elects to stay in the man-to-man here. They had been changing the defense between the man-to-man and the zone pretty much every other time down the floor. Saltz cuts on the baseline. Guarded by the shorter Bolton. Gets a screen from Schroeder, but couldn't let the 3 fly. Richardson, and now Harder. Saltz flares as an option as we dip below 2 minutes to go here in the first stanza.
You like the patience here from Carroll, especially when you look at kind of the depth and the physicality that they have against the Faith Christian team. They can really wear them down, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's one of the strategic points here that they're trying to make.
Springer, nice move, got everything except the finish. Harder's fouled, and will go to the line for 2 shots.
That's just an effort play there by Tristan Harder. The sophomore coming in from outside of the lane, finds her way through the box out and able to grab it, puts it right back up. She'll get 2 from the charity stripe.
Number 2 on Music. 1 of 2 in there for Tristan Harder. Healthy Communities of Clinton County offers free navigation services for all pregnant women. A licensed nurse is available to help you with free pregnancy tests and prenatal vitamins, insurance assistance, prenatal appointment assistance, smoking or vaping cessation, breastfeeding, labor, delivery, safe sleep, car seat, and newborn care education. Call Libby at 765-659-6063 for more information.
Grayson Music having to come out after that second foul. That'll be a big thing to keep an eye on for Faith Christian. You know, who really carries that ball, takes care of the ball, and connects everyone. Obviously, preseason, you know, she's looking at about 7 points a game, but she's really their high IQ primary ball handler for the Eagles.
10-point advantage. Good defense again from Carroll, forcing another turnover as their lead remains at 10 with about 73 seconds left to go here in the first. Attention all engaged couples, discover why the Willow Creek Barn has been voted the Knott's Best of Weddings for 4 years in a row. Nestled just outside Frankfort, Indiana, our venue offers stunning indoor and outdoor ceremony options with breathtaking photo opportunities. We provide the perfect backdrop for your dream barn wedding. To start planning your unforgettable day, visit thewillowcreekbarn.com. Another block shot here for Faith Christian, but Schroeder able to steal it. Her long pass intended for Isley stolen, and here comes Bolton breaking to the other end. She went in and got fouled by either Harder or Schroeder.
Well done by Bolton there, going back and forth a little bit, and she just decides to take care of the ball, drives down the lane. Good job getting to the free throw line here, but they've really got to start making some of these. Otherwise, you know, Carroll will be happy to send them to the line all night.
Bolton, the senior, did not play on the varsity team last year for Faith Christian. Was 2 of 4 from the line in the opener against Cecina, but did make her name known on the rebounding end. Had 6 rebounds in total and 5 steals. First point of the night there for Bolton. And with 45 seconds left, we'll see how much time Carroll wants to take here in the end of the first quarter. Isley back in the starting lineup. Missed last week's game. Nice cut to Schroeder, who lays it in.
Yeah, that's so good by Olivia Schroeder, because she originally gets tripped up a bit there on the cut through the lane, able to find her balance and catch the ball at the same time to go up for the finish.
Bump there from Reinhardt as she got tangled up with the guard for Faith Christian near the timeline. Grayson Music back on for Faith Christian for the final 25 and change. Springer right there on her hip in the backcourt for Carroll. They have ramped up these three-quarter court pressure here in the last couple of minutes. Springer able to pick the pocket from behind. Foot race to the other end. Music goes up. Couldn't block the shot, but that is foul number 3 on Grayson Music here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and you know, coaches, taking a deep breath after that. He puts Music back in. Obviously just wants her to handle the ball for the last possession there. Gives up the turnover, and that she's just got to be a little bit smarter there. Let the layup go on through. You don't need a third foul in that situation. And 3 fouls in the first quarter could spell a lot of trouble here for Faith Christian.
6 in total for the Eagles here in the first. And as Kristen mentioned, 3 of them on their point guard, Music. Springer, the sophomore, the backup point guard, has been excellent, shooting her free throws here in her second campaign. Baseline is Bryant, out for a 3. Music, halfway down, out, and then back in.
Well, if you're going to have 3 fouls, you might as well try and find some three-pointers to go with it.
6 of the 9 points for Faith Christian belong to Grayson Music. They trail by 10 to undefeated Carroll here on the ISC Sports Network after 1.
If you haven't signed up for Mintel Fiber Optic Internet from Mulberry Telecommunications, then you're missing out. We have various packages to choose from and speeds up to a gig. Not to mention each package includes a Wi-Fi 6 wireless router and access to our Mintel Smart Home app, giving you complete control of your network backed by our award-winning customer service. Go ahead and dance till your heart's content in whatever reality you want, even if it's virtual. Mulberry Telecommunications offering the best gig in town. Sign up today at Mintel.net and experience the Mintel difference.
I brought you a present. A book.
Follow the adventures of the Ardente Dental team as they fight cavities, gum disease, and create beautiful, healthy smiles.
Inconceivable!
Hello, my name is Dr. Snyder. You cause cavities. Prepare to die.
Inconceivable!
To make your smile look straight and fine, our braces per month are just $1.99.
Inconceivable!
You keep using that word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
Have fun at Ardente Dental.
Olivia Schneider to inbound the ball here along with Kinley Randall. Two of the 5 starters back on the floor here for Carroll. Start quarter number 2 as they lead by 10.
Great display by Carroll in the first quarter. Couple different defensive looks for them, and they were just very patient on the ball when they have it in their offensive end, moving it around, trying to find the best look. That's what makes this Carroll team much more dangerous than last year.
Randall, the freshman, step-through move, couldn't get the scoop to drop. It's the 5 starters on the floor for Carroll. Haste, the top player in the opener against Cecina. Kick out to Smart. She tries to find a 3. Off target and rebounded by Saltz. Saltz galloping to the other end. Nice pass, weak side Randall for the Glasser.
That's beautiful court vision there by Saltz. She's carrying the ball, taking great care of it, picks her head up and finds the cutting opposite side for the lay-in.
Music back on the floor for Faith Christian, playing with those 3 personal fouls as they have their 5 starters here on the floor to start quarter number 2.
Yeah, and if you're Faith Christian, I don't know if you have many other options in leaving Grayson Music in. She gives you so much that you've got to try and stay in this game as long as you can.
3-point shot, swished. Julia Smart made just 1 of those in 4 attempts last year as a freshman, was 2 of 4 against Cecina to start the year.
Well, against that zone that Carroll is playing, that's what's open. If they're able to drive and kick behind the arc, they've got enough time to get off decent-looking shots there.
Isley had the position inside, but the pass was off target. And then a reach-in foul called against Carroll, with Smart trying to play keep away. At Tier 1 Meat Company, we take pride in delivering locally sourced premium beef and pork, the kind of meat that honors the land, respects the craft, and fuels families with real flavor. From custom processing to mission-ready catering, we bring the firepower to elevate every meal and every moment. Founded by veterans, every cut is elite, and every customer is family. Step into Tier 1 at 128 West Catherine Street in Flora, or visit us online at tier1meatco.com.
That Carroll Cougar high press strikes again, and 2 very, very close passes that were almost over and back. They get called on the second one. And again, Faith Christian's really got to take care of the ball to get back into this one.
Carroll foul on the other end was by Reinhardt. That's her second. Rebounded down low by Isley, and then she gets fouled, and that's going to be number 4 on Grayson Music.
We might, unfortunately, not either see her for the rest of this half, or you know what, we might not see her the second half, depending on how they want to play this. But Grayson Music again, and she's an aggressive player. You understand being in the post, wanting to contest that shot, but you've just got to be aware of where you're at on the court and in that lane to keep yourself out of foul trouble.
First point of the night for Isley. Taylor Hill, the sub, coming in here for Music with her 4 personal fouls. And Isley makes them both. Sophomore shot 61% from the stripe a year ago. 11-point lead for Carroll, their biggest here of the night. They ramp up that tenacious defensive pressure here once again. Gave Taylor High School fits last week when they held the Titans to just 8 points. Bolton, bounce pass, Haste, nice move, but too nice of a move as she shuffled her feet.
I guess called for the travel in the lane there, but you mentioned it, Rick. It's that suffocating 1-3-1 half-court trap defense where, especially with Music now not on the court, someone's got to step up, take care of the ball, and make those calm, just composed decisions with the ball.
Salt's working against Hayes. Kick out. Randall's three is perfect. Kinley Randall heating up here in this first half.
And you love to see it from the freshman. You talked about Jillian Saltz getting moved off of that point guard position in the ball, but she still draws the attention to find Randall.
Little stop and start from Isley. Jump stop and wings it over to Schroeder. Salt's calling for it. Thought about stepping into a three. Good denial by Smart. Randall into a double team. Poked away by Faith Christian and intercepted by Julia Smart.
That's a better defensive stand there by Faith Christian, really tucking in that post and denying anything in the middle there. It was too easy in the first quarter for Carroll to find the open post and get some easy lay-ins.
Haste kicks out of a triple team. Catch and shoot three. Air ball, but caught by Bolton. Off the miss from Hill. There's Haste. Runner had too much English on it. Nice offensive rebound. Bolton doesn't get the roll, but he'll go to the line for two.
Credit Hannah Bolton, the senior, staying tough down there on the block, not giving up on the rebound. And as much as we talked about not allowing Carroll to get some of those second chances on the offensive glass, they've got to do a better job of keeping the Eagles off the glass as well.
Mulberry Telecommunications offers high-speed fiber optic internet, streaming TV, and telephone solutions. We are a local telecommunications cooperative that has been serving Clinton and Tippecanoe County for over 120 years. Now that we have expanded our services into Carroll County, we are excited to join your neighborhood and welcome you to our fiberhood. Learn more at www.mintel.net or call 765-296-2885. So Bolton makes both free throws. She's up to 3 points on the night. And Faith Christian doing a really nice job of just hanging around here after we watched Carroll run away and hide in that first half last week.
Yeah, and honestly, it's their defense that's keeping them in it right now. This quarter, they've really stepped it up as far as limiting some of the options they're giving the Carroll Cougars. They can hurt you multiple different ways, Carroll can. So to be able to kind of limit some of those options with another steal here, it's been much better from Faith Christian.
Haste leads Hill. Bryan tries her hand at a three, and the rebound bounces out to Springer. Isley tries to do it herself, lost it, got it back. Didn't get the shot to go, and then hammered on the other side is Harder, and she has 2 free throws upcoming.
Yeah, the second post player there for Faith Christian, Julia Smart. She's got to stay on her man there, find the box out, and she gets an easy rebound, and they're going the other way. Just a little bit undisciplined down there in the box when the shot goes up for Faith Christian, and Carroll's doing a nice job of taking advantage of it on the second chances.
First free throw good for Tristan Harder. She's 3 of 3 from the line tonight. Fouls on Taylor Hill, her first. Wamplers is a place where recycling always makes sense. Please call Wamplers at 659-3721 for all your trash, recycling, and scrap needs. Wamplers Disposal Service and Recycling, family owned since 1948. Both free throws down the hatch for Tristan Harder. 4 of 4 from the line tonight. And a 30-second timeout called on the floor here from Faith Christian with 4:16 left to go here in quarter number 2. They trail by 14, but we saw the Carroll defense held Taylor to just 8 points in the first half, then shut him out in the second half last week. What have you liked from Faith Christian here, taking advantage of some bad passing here from Carroll on the offensive end?
Yeah, they're not afraid to shoot the ball, and I love that. A lot of times you'll see teams that are so dedicated to getting the ball up, getting the ball to the post, especially on the transition game after a rebound, that they don't see how open the three is. And Faith Christian hasn't been afraid to take that shot, and it's paid off for them, and it's the reason they're still in this game. So I think as they continue to move the ball, you know, it's important if you get that rebound, you don't allow Carroll to set up that 1-3-1 trap. If you can get the ball out, transition quickly into the offensive end, you're able to get into your sets easily, which is something we didn't see Faith Christian do in this first quarter or Taylor be able to do at all last week.
Yeah, Faith Christian, the Eagles have made 3 of their 3-point attempts here so far in the first half. So they've gone 3 for 5. Pretty good showing for them. Had some costly turnovers here as Haste tries to break that backcourt pressure. Spun around the arc, bluffing the 3 Bolton. Hill sets the screen, stepping into a 3 ball off the rim. Almost able to track it down was Hill, but Smart on the 3-point miss.
Yeah, it looks like they're almost going to live and die by that three-point shot at this point, which, you know what, against a team like Carroll, when they're showing that crowd to Joanna Hayes down on the box and making it so difficult to get the ball into the post, you know, if you can make them even at, 35, 40%, you're staying into this game.
An old coach told me once, threes are worth more than twos. And I think that's because he was a former math teacher, but I was like, well, he's not wrong.
See, my coach just always told me, you've never seen a shot you don't like, have you?
And the answer was no.
Of course not.
Held ball, sends it back to Faith Christian after they missed a three on the other end, and then had one of their guards step out of bounds on the sideline. Catch and shoot, firing away. Hill from three, too much, and out of bound off the hand of Liz Bryan.
Yeah, there's Faith Christian starting to figure out the 1-3-1 a little bit. Joanna Hayes does a nice job there of getting rid of the ball just in the nick of time, but you've heard it from every coach in every decade. Don't go into coffin corner trying to avoid that on the 1-3-1 press.
Schroeder can't find the distance from three, and a loose ball foul against one of three Cougars. As again, Julia Smart putting her nose in there and getting another defensive rebound here for the Eagles. That goes against Briley Springer, her first. And number 3 on the Cougars here in the second quarter.
Much better this quarter, staying out of the foul trouble. And I think it's translated to some of the turnovers they've been able to force on the defensive end. They're putting themselves in better positions defensively. They're being a little bit more composed as far as, hey, we don't got to go win the ball right away. We don't have to attack and steal. Sitting back and just making Carroll beat you has been really, really advantageous for Faith Christian this quarter.
Second straight foul called against Briley Springer as Carroll turned up that full court press, and a moving screen whistled here against Taylor Hill of Faith Christian. As the foul starting to pile up for both teams here with 3 minutes and change left to play before halftime.
Not necessarily surprised by that. Both of these teams, Carroll especially, very aggressive on the defensive end, physical as far as, you check out some of the size they've got compared to Faith Christian. You figured it was going to be a physical game, and if you're Faith Christian, you've got to be physical to really try and force Carroll to be at their best.
Randall kicks out to Springer, her 3 short. One and done, defensive cleanup there from Haste. One-hand pass, ripping it away from a defender. Bolton tries to get a banker from the left side and doesn't go. And we go back the other way with Randall. The freshman with her hair on fire runs it with a left hand, doesn't go. And it's tapped down. We go back to the other end with Liz Bryan. Her pocket picked. Everybody falling on the floor, and Carroll finally comes away with the loose ball.
Yeah, no surprise there. Jillian Saltz getting the 2 hands on the ball and just calming things down for the Cougars.
Faith Christian remaining in this man-to-man defense after they opened up in zone a lot. Pass read and deflected away from Hayes as they tried to work it inside to Richardson. Saltz out for a 3. Hits the glass, and another defensive rebound for Johanna Haste.
Great job reading the cut there. We've seen that a few times from Carroll, trying to find that near post block cut. She reads it well, able to get it back and goes coast to coast.
Beautiful spin from Haste. And back to within 12 are the Eagles from Faith Christian.
And Haste is, she can go off for quite a few points here, especially if Faith Christian start getting some stops. She went for 29, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals the other night. She is one that, even without Grayson Music on the court, she can make a massive impact for the Eagles.
Was held to just 5 points in the matchup with Carroll a year ago. Leading returning scorer from last year's team at just over 12 points per game, but she missed a month of the season between the middle of December to the middle of January, missed 7 games. As ripping it away, Reinhardt throws it over the glass, and it's going to go back to Faith Christian. But you get a player in Haste, you mentioned Kristen Hurst putting those 29 points on Cecina to start the year. She starts the year with the bang. That's drawn the eyes of Carroll here, but you see when you get her out on the open floor, she can create for herself.
Yeah, and she's that multi-dimensional as a player. We just saw a beautiful spin move from her on the post. She's not that traditional player that's going to live in the post. You see her, that's Julia Smart on the ball, but we've seen Haste carried it coast to coast up the court. And it goes back to that just high IQ of basketball. You saw it on the defensive end. You saw it on the transition game. That's when she gets into the best opportunities.
Looked like Faith Christian had gone to the zone for a little bit. They go back man-to-man. Saltz Another quick one and done, and another rebound for Julia Smart. 4-0 Faith Christian run with less than a minute to go before recess. Smart bulldozing in. Haste puts it on the deck, got into the paint, off of 1 foot, doesn't drop, and it's rebounded by Isley. Isley the 2-on-2. Low bouncer to Saltz, who finishes.
And that's where Carroll will kill you off of those turnovers. They do a nice job of just limiting the option Joanna Haste has. Has to drive baseline, puts a bad shot up, able to get the rebound and go quickly. And that is where Carroll will kill you right away on that transition.
30-second timeout for Carroll. They're 2-0 on the year, 1-0 here at home after defeating Taylor here to start the year. They opened their season with Madison Grant, and Brady Wiles told us he wanted to change things up, get a new team who they opened up with, get a little bit more of a challenge. They still put 70 on the board, but he liked being able to open up against a different opponent than how they normally traditionally see to start the year.
Yeah, and you love to switch it up, absolutely, especially you mentioned it, a new crew, a new group of 5 starters, some experience and a lot of young players as well. I love what he's doing there. He's really building that culture, trying to get them together. We talked pregame about a lot of fall athletes coming into that winter season, and we even had a game last week that had to be pushed back because the school didn't have enough players yet. And so we've seen that, and having them gel early on, I think that leads to it a little bit more. You put up some good performances, you know, really starting to feel like things are coming together for Carroll, and you're seeing some of it tonight. A lot of good bursts of great play from this Carroll Cougars team.
The home team trying to get that half-court trap locked in. Faith Christian wrapping it around to Smart, and here's Music. She has to be careful playing with 4 fouls. Hill puts it on the deck. Shot was altered by Saltz. She throws it behind Isley and stolen here by Faith Christian. Smart to Hayes, step through 2 defenders. Doesn't go, and Harder cleans it up for Carroll. 15 seconds left, Carroll looking to push. Saltz, 3 with a hand in her face, is off target.
Yeah, and you've said it, Grayson Music back on the court for this last 2 possessions here, and we saw it in the first quarter. I thought, ooh, as soon as they lost that ball there, I was holding my breath for it, but they do a nice job. Stays out of foul trouble. Ooh, on that last one, and they are cutting it close with those back passes there.
Yeah, Smart just stepped across midcourt when she got the pass from Music, misses the shot at the horn, and it's a 12-point Carroll lead here at halftime over Faith Christian. You're watching Indiana Girls High School Basketball on the ISC Sports Network. Our halftime show's coming up next.
Frankfort Eagles 976, serving with the community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, Frankfort Eagles offers something for everyone. Golf leagues, bingo, concerts, kid parties, cookouts, and more. For more information on who we are and what we do, visit FOE.com or stop by Frankfort Eagles at 408 North Main Street, Frankfort, Indiana.
The Willow Creek Barn has been voted the best of weddings on the knot for 4 years running. The Willow Creek Barn has earned its reputation for a reason. With breathtaking grounds, a stunning barn, and a staff that goes above and beyond, making sure that every detail is perfect, your wedding day will be seamless, joyful, and unforgettable. From the first look to the last dance, your happily ever after starts here. To book your dream wedding, visit thewillowcreekbarn.com.
Day and Genda Funeral Home, proudly putting family first, strives to care and honor the families of Clinton and Carroll County in ways that share the loved one's story. In our effort to serve your family at the highest of quality, we have added our own crematories, one for your loved one and another crematory for your furry family members. Contact us for information on how we can serve your family. Day and Gender Funeral Home, putting family first.
In this town, game day starts long before kickoff. It's the work behind the scenes that makes champions. At Tier 1 Meat Company, we prep with the same focus, discipline, and pride as the hometown heroes we feed. From our block to your block, fuel every victory. Tier 1 Meat Company. Mission, feed the fans. Standard, champion quality. Scan the QR code for a game day upgrade.
We've all heard the question, if a tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound? Honestly, we're not sure either. But what we do know is that if it falls in your yard, it usually leaves behind an unsightly stump that you'll be stuck mowing around. At JXN Stump Solutions, we'll get rid of that stump for good, and here's the best part. We offer free estimates, so you'll know the cost before the work begins. We deliver quality work from a professional, locally owned company with a commitment to leaving your property cleaner, safer, and stump-free. Contact us today at 242-9523. At JXN Stump Solutions, we're rooted in service and driven to remove.
Back at Carroll High School, the halftime show presented by the Willow Creek Barn, where nature's beauty meets rustic elegance, and the home team on top 30-18 at the break. Rick and Kristen back here with you. And we saw the Cougars trying to establish their dominance early, but a couple of key turnovers and some three-point shooting helped Faith Christian close that gap and stay within reasonable striking distance. What are your thoughts on the first half overall?
Yeah, a 12-point game going into halftime. I think if you would have judged just based on that first quarter, we would have thought it might have been a blowout by this point. You said it. Faith Christian came out, played a little bit smarter defense, put themselves in some better positions, stayed out of foul trouble like they got into in the first quarter, and started knocking down some threes, keeping it pretty close. But again, the Carroll Cougars just so explosive off of those turnovers.
You mentioned Carroll. You look at Springer gave you 2 points off the bench, 7 points off the bench for Tristan Harder, 8 points for Kinley Randall to lead the way in scoring tonight here for Carroll. She's 1 point away from matching her career high she set last week. 4 for Reinhardt, 5 for Saltz, and 2 for Olivia Schroeder to round out the scoring for Carroll. On the other side for Faith Christian, 3 for Hannah Bolton, and 6 for Grayson Music. She knocked down a couple of threes in that first half, 5 for Smart, and 4 for Joanna Hayes, their leading scorer, coming into tonight's action. We'll step aside and come back with more halftime coverage with Carroll on top by 12 here against Faith Christian on the ISC Sports Network.
Welcome to Trinity Hope Center. Here we are actively engaged in our recovery community with a multitude of activities including peer recovery coaching, a full computer lab, grief groups, relapse prevention, pre- and postnatal support group, educational workshops for family members with addicted loved ones, expungent workshops, parent cafes, Saturday pro-social activities, recovery walk club, book club, and even video game nights. For more information, give us a call at 765-250-1845.
Meet Henry. Henry is hip. Henry loves the new Mintel TV streaming app. And check out Helen. With features like Cloud DVR, Restart, and Look Back TV, Helen never misses her favorite shows. And this? Well, this is Bob. Bob can't contain his excitement for the new Mintel TV streaming app. Bob is proving that you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. What do you say, Bob? Does the Mintel TV app get a thumbs up? All right, Bobby-o. Mintel TV, the next generation of awesome, upgrade today. The Willow Creek Barn has been voted the best of weddings on the knot for 4 years running. The Willow Creek Barn has earned its reputation for a reason. With breathtaking grounds, a stunning barn, and a staff that goes above and beyond, making sure that every detail is perfect, your wedding day will be seamless, joyful, and unforgettable. From the first look to the last dance, your happily ever after starts here. To book your dream wedding, visit thewillowcreekbarn.com.
Your first half highlights are presented by Mulberry Telecommunications, the best gig in town, as Carroll leads by 12 here at halftime against Faith Christian. And here to take a look at those first half highlights. Carroll able to try to get some rhythm here early on. They didn't shoot the three as well as we saw. Salt's able to knock down the triple try here. That was her only 3-point basket of the first half.
Yeah, Salt's having for her at least, a relatively quiet first half. But that's honestly been the goal of the Cougars this year anyway, is to take some of that attention off of Salt so she can be open for some of those big plays like the three we saw to lead off the highlights. But you take a look here, and their offense was just humming, able to get into the post early. You know, Eliza Reinhardt, one of those players that can do just about everything for you if you're the Carroll Cougars. But Music was able to answer back here with a three, and that's what we saw a lot of from Faith Christian.
Music had the 4 first-half fouls, but was the best three-point shooter for Faith Christian, going 2 of 3. And a little loose ball work as Tristan Harder steps out and knocks down that triple there for the Cougs. Step-through move for Haste.
Yeah, and you see number 2 there for the Cougars, Tristan Harder, the freshman, the sophomore, really impressed with some of the minutes she put up, especially on the defensive end. Very scrappy. You see her almost in every single play that goes down on the post, getting a nice box out there, even though it was another great three from the Faith Christian Eagles there.
Saltz runs the point, gives off to the point guard Randall, who's got 8 first-half points to lead everybody, who had a really nice job. She seemed to get to the rim a lot whenever she wanted to.
Yeah, another impressive one, and that is a freshman, Kinley Randall there. Again, another scrappy player in the right places at the right time. Another kick out there to Salts. That was Randall, as we were talking about it.
From Salts.
From Salts, yep. And doing a nice job there of just staying composed. And then again, Joanna Haste, she is the one that's going to keep them in this game and keep them going. Last play here, a nice job there by Julia Smart. Unlucky not to get the and one. But then this Carroll Cougars team in transition just so good as they find Salts for the easy lay in there.
Isley running the point. We saw that beautiful spin from Haste. Trying to see if we can see Haste maybe create a little bit more off the dribble and try to get a couple more points on her docket to get Faith Christian back closer to this one. Carroll leading by 12 here at recess. We're back to start the second half next.
At Wampler's Disposal and Recycling, we take pride in offering waste management for commercial and residential clients. As an industry leader, Wampler's Disposal and Recycling brings the most professional and responsive collection service in the business. Since 1948, our family-owned and operated company has provided excellent service at competitive rates. We offer container rentals as well. Our longevity in the industry is a testament to our excellent service. We serve all of Clinton, Tippecanoe, Boone, Howard, and Carroll counties. For all your waste removal needs, call Wampler Services Incorporated today. You can reach us at 765-659-3721. Visit us online at wamplerservicesinc.com.
Frankfurt Eagles 976 has bingo every Wednesday night. Early birds beginning at 6 p.m. and regular bingo starting at 7 p.m. Packets are $25 and includes every game you need to play. They also have Saturday bingo the first Saturday of every month, with early birds starting at 4 p.m. and regular bingo starting at 5 p.m. Big game payouts each game with 3 to 4 chances to win different jackpot games each day. Great for individuals or groups because everyone enjoys winning lots of money. You must be 18 years or older to play.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Back here at Carroll High School, Cougars on top 30-18, trying to run their record to 3-0 on the year. They're going to need to do some work here. They're trying to eclipse the 70-point mark for the third straight game. They eclipsed 70 in the opener at Madison Grant. They were right at 70 against Taylor on this floor last week. Held to the 30 in that first half here against Faith Christian. Joined back once again Rick Johnson and Kristen Hazley. And Kristen, there were some adjustments you see from both teams here for half number 2.
Yeah, I think if you're Faith Christian, you kind of mentioned it there. They've held the Cougars to just 30 right now. Obviously, we know they're capable of getting into that 70-point range, but at a 12-point game, they're still in this. I think if they continue to play a smart, composed zone there, make it hard for the Cougars to get the ball into the post. They haven't been great from behind the arc, so if they can force Carroll to take some more three-point shots, limit easy chances in the post, and honestly convert on the other end, they could get right back into this, John. Excuse me, Rick.
I've been called worse. Don't worry. It's okay. An early turnover here for Carroll in the first possession. Scooping it up is Julia Smart. She's been really effective, both cleaning the glass and getting a lot of steals here for Faith Christian.
Yeah, really one of those unsung heroes. Music, letting one. There you go. 3 for her. And, if you can get Haste and Music going at the same time, could spell trouble, and she pulls it back down to a single-digit game.
Music 3 of 4 from distance. First time Faith Christian's trailed by single digits in a while. Isley corner 3, cannot answer, but finds the hands of Reinhardt, who turns around and puts it in.
Isley will take the assist on that one for the box score, but again, that's those easy 2 points, whether it's off a rebound or something like that, where Faith Christian's really got to control the block defensively.
Good read from Randall with Carroll running the trap. She'll go right to the rim. Scoop, can't get it to go, and picked up by Music, who's playing with the 4 personals. Music thinks about dancing. Hill turns and fires. Has too long from the wing, and then almost losing it out of bounds was Isley. A quick trigger from Taylor Hill every time she catches that ball outside the arc.
Yeah, I'm guessing they've got the green light at this point from behind the arc, especially Carroll not putting much pressure at all up on that arc. Like we said, if Faith Christian can drain a couple, get a few stops, it makes it a really tight game.
Faith Christian was in zone to start. Now they've backed off a little bit. Randall into traffic. Good read from Haste, and she's able to come out of there with a steal. Another turnover here for Carroll on the offensive end.
She's been deadly guarding that post down low. That's about the third or fourth steal she's made just by reading the inbound pass.
Saltz almost deflected that pass and got the steal. Carroll in the zone defense. Jumping the passing lane, Isley, but couldn't get it away from Music. Faith Christian reverses the ball. Music off a screen, catch and shoot three. Bolton straight on but long. Haste able to work her way in and steal that offensive rebound away.
And well done again. If Haste is the motor for you, you think Music is the steering wheel, and she just does not give up on that ball, but they give it up.
Ball thrown away and just gliding to the other end with ease, Jillian Saltz.
And that's what she's so good at. She just makes those simple plays look so easy, and it's not. She's got to beat two defenders there, but she is just that confident and composed on the ball.
Quick 4-0 burst here for Carroll, has their lead back to double figures. Music thought about a logo three. Nice back cut. Hill turns and shoots, too strong. Haste came soaring in but couldn't gather it in as she deflected it out of bounds.
Yeah, and it looked like a nice find there by Music from the top of the key to find that pass, but just looks a little, Taylor Hill looks a little bit surprised that she was that wide open there. Maybe take a dribble, throw up a lay in there, but obviously just a little bit surprised by how much real estate she had.
Carroll slows it down with Reinhardt, who's moved to the two guard this year, switching back to the point guard spot here, off of a screen and right in front, but it rims out. Able to get her own miss tied up here, and a traveling violation called against Reinhardt. Mulberry Telecommunications offers high-speed fiber optic internet, streaming TV, and telephone solutions. We are a local telecommunications cooperative that has been serving Clinton and Tippecanoe County for over 120 years. Now that we have expanded our services into Carroll County, we're excited to join your neighborhood and welcome you to our fiberhood. Learn more at www.mintel.net or call 765-296-2885. Trapping input on here by Carroll. Music able to put the ball on the screen. Bolton catch and shoot. Offensive rebound, tracked down once again by Haste, her second here of the third quarter. There's that spin move again, but Saltz steps in and rejects the shot, picked up by Bolton. Hill tried to put it on the deck, and Saltz picked her pocket clean, and now it's Saltz running a 3-on-2 break. And able to spin it in through contact.
Jillian Saltz just doing it all on that possession, forces Faith Christian to put it on the court, and then makes a nice steal and carries it all the way to the basket there for an easy lay-in.
6 unanswered for Carroll. Almost losing it in the paint was Smart. Bolton backed her on the block. That ball took a weird sideways spin as it goes out of bounds, but last touched by Jillian Saltz of Carroll.
And Carroll really doing a nice job of switching up defensively what they're doing on Haste in the post. You've seen them dig a little bit, you've seen them deny a little bit, and really just making it tough for this Faith Christian offense to get moving.
Haste back into the inbounder. Smart. She turns around and hits a mid-range jumper from the baseline. That stops the 6th straight scored from Carroll. As Faith Christian, the Eagles, back to that man-to-man look. Reinhardt at the point. Step through move, challenged and fouled by Bolton. That's number 2 on her.
Yeah, second foul on Bolton there, and she's in good position. All those young players, especially if you're smaller in the post, she's just got to stay straight up. Just deny, wall up as we call it. Get both of those hands, make it as difficult as possible on Reinhardt to get off a clean shot. But there, just leans over. Easy call for the referees to make.
Are you tired of unsightly tree stumps ruining your yard? Let us take care of it. We've got the equipment and experience to get the job done right. We offer 3 tiers of service that will rejuvenate your yard, all at a competitive, budget-friendly rates. Just call 765-242 and 9523 today for a free estimate. JXN Stump Solutions, rooted in service, driven to remove. Reinhardt able to get the second to drop. More pressure defense here from Carroll. Now they slide around to that zone defense with Briley Springer at the top of the zone. Bolton into the post and Haste, spins into a triple team, kicks out to the red-hot Music. whose three's off the rim, down to Bolton off the miss, and she's able to put it in off the window.
Great job by Hannah Bolton on the post there. Carroll making it really tough on Haste.
Carroll trying to answer on the other end. Cannot, and it's going back to Faith Christian with 3:06 left in the third.
Yeah, and we saw Faith Christian able to find Haste in the post that time, but immediately those three, that 2-3, that third, or three post players just collapsing on her. She does a nice job, though, to find the space and the kick out. And if they can start sinking those, that is a good combination for the Faith Christian Eagles.
Music caught on the timeline. Haste right down Main Street, up and fouled. Gotta like that ball movement there from Music. Got caught near midcourt, be able to find Haste right near the top of the key.
Exactly, and Haste doing a nice job. We were talking about it at halftime. You'd love to see her. She does such a nice job on the post with those spin moves, the step-through move. Can she create a little bit of contact and get herself to the line? I think that was the difference in the first half. It could have made it even tighter, as if Haste gets, an and one on a few of those lay-ins. It's an even tighter game. A nice job there.
Haste rattled in the first. Tapping it to herself is Smart. Can't get the put back to go. There's an opportunity there for Faith Christian to cut their deficit down to 10. They had got it to 9 on the opening possession of the third, and a runner goes for Jillian Saltz.
Yeah, Jillian Saltz picking it up on the defensive end and offensive end this half for Carroll. A nice tip ball there by Briley Springer. And, it's been impressive to watch the Carroll Cougars find some depth around Saltz. Tonight it's been Reinhardt, it's been Randall, some of those supporting players that allow Saltz to play a bit of a more free game.
Wide open, Julia Smart, 3. Glanced off the rim, tapped and corralled by Springer. And defense there from Bolton, steals it back. Hill hoisting up a 3. Too much on it, and Saltz has the air ball miss. Saltz accelerating with the offhand, doesn't go. Putback attempt from Richardson. Can't find the bottom of the cup, and then two Cougars right there, and neither of them could gather it in.
Yeah, Joanna Haste there trying to recover and get back behind the ball, but Jillian Saltz does such a nice job of recognizing there's not a defender back there. And if there is, okay, it was Music at that time. I can drive at her. She's got 4 fouls. Again, it's that high IQ of Jillian Saltz knowing when to pick up the pace and when to slow it down and get into an offensive set.
It would break the press as Faith Christian, but then Springer rips the ball right out of the midst of Bolton. Bolton trying to come back and steal it. Springer able to fall on the floor. Helter-skelter play. Runner from Harder doesn't go. Putback from Richardson also can't find the bottom. And an off ball or a loose ball foul called against Harder. That's number 3 on her. As again, it was Smart, who's going to cut that a couple of times on the defensive end when she's had folks pestering her on her own end.
Yeah, and she's doing a nice job, Smart is. You've seen her on the defensive board as well as the offensive board. I think she's been probably one of their best rebounders, and we've talked about, Music and Haste. I would put that third there, right there, Julia Smart tonight. She has been a fantastic player for them this evening as Haste finds another easy layup in the post. If they're able to find her early, that is a great play for the Eagles.
Nice pass from Music. Throwing it up, Schroeder can't get the home court bounce, and Haste has the carom. Another opportunity here for Faith Christian to cut their deficit to single digits. They had it at 9 to start this third quarter off, but it was short-lived. Carroll sliding around in their zone defense. Haste double team, spins away, finds the rim, and finds 2 more points.
And again, it's that spin to her right, and then she goes up with her left hand. It is so difficult to defend. Carroll having a tough job containing her in the post.
Music almost went for that steal, and here's a takeaway and race to the other end. Guess who? Haste almost tripped, found her footing, and got another deuce as Haste up to 11 points. And just like that, Carroll's lead has been dwindled down to 7, and a full timeout taken here for Carroll.
Beautiful work by Joanna Haste, just reading the eyes of that Carroll offense. It's pretty predictable at that point. She just goes ahead and jumps that passing lane, home free to go finish it up, but does it with such focus. And you see right here, when Faith Christian limits the turnovers and limits Carroll's ability to get offensive rebounds, here you go. We're back at a 7-point game, And so it's fun to see that this can be competitive, but Faith Christian's almost got to play that perfect game to really, really tighten it up.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the Frankfurt Eagles Post 976, serving our community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, the Frankfurt Eagles offer something for everyone. For more information on who they are and what they do, please visit FOE.com or stop by 408 North Main Street in Frankfort. You've seen the improvement, a lot of one-and-dones early, particularly in the first half, bled into the second half here for Carroll. But, Chris, the thing I've been most impressed with here from Faith Christian, their ability to break that press with Saltz all the way in the backcourt, causing havoc with her length and her height, and then Music able to get in front, and then just like that, once they break it, it becomes a 3-on-2, and Faith Christian isn't waiting around. They're getting quick hitters right to the rim, taking advantage of the extra player.
You're exactly right, Rick. They are doing a nice job, and again, it's taking care of the ball, valuing that ball. We saw them turn it over a few times trying to figure out that press in the first half, and this half, doing a much better job moving the ball quickly, and it almost looks like, at halftime they figured out, okay, here's where our outlet is when this press comes. Here's where the quick pass is when this press comes, and being able to find that and know where you're going with the ball has really helped them in this second half.
Notice that Reinhardt now running the point. Kinley Randall sent to the bench here for Carroll. Saltz pressured by a couple of different Eagle defenders. Schroeder almost threw it wide as Richardson seeing significant minutes here in the third. Less than 20 seconds left to play in the third stanza. Reinhardt doesn't get the runner to go. As Bolton has the miss, she slips. Trying to look for a foul that doesn't come. Reinhardt backs it away with 6 and 5 seconds left. Carroll's got to go quick. Saltz with 3. Elbow. Schroeder before the horn. No. And it was once a 14-point lead for Carroll has been cut in half as we go to the fourth here on the ISC Sports Network.
We've all heard the question, if a tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound? Honestly, we're not sure either. But what we do know is that if it falls in your yard, it usually leaves behind an unsightly stump that you'll be stuck mowing around. At JXN Stump Solutions, we'll get rid of that stump for good, and here's the best part. We offer free estimates, so you'll know the cost before the work begins. We deliver quality work from a professional, locally owned company with a commitment to leaving your property cleaner, safer, and stump-free. Contact us today at 242-9523. At JXN Stump Solutions, we're rooted in service and driven to remove.
At Day and Genda Funeral Home, we embrace change while staying true to timeless values. Our commitment to putting families first remains steadfast. With up-to-date practices and unwavering compassion, we offer the highest quality of service for your loved ones. Trust to serve your family with a classic commitment in modern times. Day and Genda Funeral Home, putting family first.
Let's. Back at Carroll High School. Final quarter of play, and a convincing third quarter here for Faith Christian, outscoring the Cougars 14-9 in that stanza. What did you like, and what would you like to see Faith Christian carry over from the third, their best quarter of the night so far?
I think they've done a great job of taking care of the ball on the offensive end. That's got to continue because Carroll has been just killing them on those points off of turnovers. Continue to take care of the ball and limit those second chances. When Carroll puts up shots, they're doing a nice job of forcing the Cougars into some shots they don't want to necessarily take. Now, if Haste and Smart can continue to limit their offensive rebounds and those second chances, you know what? They could be right in this very, very quickly, but it all starts with taking care of the ball on the offensive end for Faith Christian.
New face on the floor for the Eagles, Sophie McCain, number 4 in maroon. First time we've seen her tonight, and Music trying to whirl away from the defender Isley, stepped out of bounds. Good start for the Carroll defense here to start the fourth.
Yeah, it's a good call by the referee there right in front of them, and Music makes a nice move there trying to find that baseline, but that's part of the pressure that Carroll's putting on you there is they want you to step out of bounds.
Carroll's biggest lead tonight has been 15 points at 36-21, but a good close there by Faith Christian. Screen and roll. Saltz got it back from Isley, and Saltz knows what to do with it.
Yeah, Salt's doing a nice job of just avoiding the block there. Sees that that Hannah Bolton has stepped out, but Bolton not keeping those feet set, otherwise she might get that charge called.
Bolton dribbling into a double team. 3-point shot on the way and swished from Sophie McCain, who had not played the entire night up until right now.
Good way to start your fourth quarter there. 1 for 1 for Sophie McCain, the senior. Salt's trying to answer.
Cannot, and their lead remains 6. And a held ball will keep it here. Smart was bracketed between Isley and Reinhardt. And we've seen Carroll get called for some foul side, particularly against Smart. This time, the Cougars able to keep the ball.
Yeah, good job there, and you'd like to see Faith Christian get a nice box out there, but can't blame Carroll. Oh, beautiful move by Saltz there. Just fakes that she's going to pass it off and then goes easy layup down the baseline.
15 now for Saltz. Lead is up to 8. Music, baseline. Saltz with a rejection on McCain, and then she picks up the rebound, throws it to the front court where Schroeder is able to gather it in.
Great clean block by Saltz on the defensive end.
Saltz defended by McCain.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we expect we might see here as Carroll go into a bit more of that patient offense that we saw a lot of in the first quarter. Not trying to take many shots, really looking for a good shot as Olivia Schroeder tried the 3 there. Not sure that's what they're exactly looking for, but they're just going to continue to pass the ball, run that clock down a bit as much as they can.
Isley gets tied up, alternating possession, sends it back to Faith Christian. Tonight's game is brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, with locations in Frankfort, Flora, Mulberry, and Rossville. The compassionate and experienced staff at Day and Genda Funeral Home are dedicated to providing a loving and genuine environment for you to honor your loved one. For more information on our services and community involvement, please visit dayandgenda.com. Day and Genda Funeral Homes, where we put family first. Faith Christian stepping out of bounds in front of their own bench. And it looks like Bob Kaplinger asking for a timeout. And he will take it and get it. His final 30-second timeout left of the night.
Yeah, I think it's a critical time here to kind of rally the troops if you're Faith Christian and Coach Kaplinger. A bad turnover there, and we mentioned it, you've really got to limit those, especially down the stretch here. Not many opportunities, and you've got to bank on the fact that Carroll and Jillian Saltz and some of that supporting cast, they're not going away very easily. They'll continue to get theirs, but you've got to try and stop and make it as difficult as possible if you're the Faith Christian Eagles.
Carroll came into the night outscoring their opponents by almost 60 points per game through the first 2. They've had a much harder test tonight for Faith Christian. What have you liked from the Eagles, and what have you liked let me change that. How do you really like the response here from Carroll getting pushed here in game number 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a nice job of staying composed. We've seen spurts of the game where you can tell they're a little bit we'll say flustered,
Yeah.
Not sure what to do with the ball at that point, whether it's a quick turnover. I'm not sure that they've seen a defensive as aggressive as Faith Christian or someone like Haste on the post that can read those passes inside and down low. So I think, obviously Carroll doing a nice job of staying in their sets, staying composed. That comes along with, Jillian Saltz, the senior, and some of the experience she has. But credit Faith Christian, I think they've shown Carroll some different wrinkles of defensive and some different pressures that they haven't quite seen yet this season.
After the two teams trade turnovers, it's Haste that picks up her second foul. First foul of the fourth between either team. Out of bounds off of Isley, and there's Haste with that nice defense once again. The junior has played really well on both ends of the floor tonight for Faith Christian.
Yeah, she's been key for them, especially with Music missing a bit of the game for sure and foul trouble. But again, impressed with her. She's played the entire second half with 4 fouls and still in there, still doing well, and just playing much more smarter on the defensive end.
Haste dumps it off to McCain, and another block for Jillian Saltz.
Yeah, and McCain down on the post there against Jillian Saltz. It's not a great matchup for Faith Christian. The second time we've seen her get a nice clean block in that same location. Can Faith Christian kick it out and move and try and find another shot?
Haste trying to do it herself, spun right into Saltz, who read that spin move from the top of the key. Bolton dives on the floor, had one hand pinned with Isley, one other one on the ball, and the held ball will send it back to Faith Christian, but Bolton was trying to hold on for dear life with that left arm.
She is tough, I tell you what. Anna Bolton has been in on some post plays. She's been in on some loose ball plays, and she is just scrappy.
Senior's got 5 points tonight.
I think this Faith Christian team really becomes a different team if they're able to get a third scorer kind of into that double-digit range. They become even more difficult to stop when they're not just Music and Haste kind of playing that 1-2. Obviously, they're important, but if they can get some contributions, some contributions from some other scorers on the floor, I think they become even more difficult to beat.
Tough break there for Sophie McCain, running the 2-on-2 as Bolton was able to find her after Haste got the steal, just took her eyes off and dribbled it off the side of her foot. But you got to like quick defense turning into offense there for Faith Christian, knowing you still got plenty of time here, only down 8 with 4.5 left.
Yeah, and they're doing a nice job of limiting Carroll. Oh, bank is open there. I think that was Jillian Saltz there. Finally gets one to go. She got one in the first half. I think that's her first 3 in the second half. But doing a nice job of Faith Christian is of limiting the easy buckets that Carroll has been able to get in the second half.
Schroeder shading Haste. Ball knocked away from Bolton. Picked up by Harder, then she's fouled from behind.
We talked about this Carroll Cougars program and some of the adjustments they've made with some graduating seniors and Jillian Saltz being kind of that main offensive threat for them. But you have to say they've done a great job of trusting their depth around Jillian Saltz tonight and really spreading the ball confidently.
Foul on Bolton, number 3 on her. Tonight's game presented by Healthy Communities of Clinton County. Healthy Communities of Clinton County offers free navigation services for all pregnant women. A licensed nurse is available to help you with free pregnancy tests and prenatal vitamins, insurance assistance, prenatal appointment assistance, smoking or vaping cessation, breastfeeding, labor, delivery, safe sleep, car seat, and newborn care education. Call Libby at 765-659-6063 for more information. Full timeout for Faith Christian. That leaves them with 1. 3 timeouts left for Carroll, a 30 and a couple of fulls. Cougars trying to run their record to 3-0 on the year. Faith Christian trying to get above 500 after defeating Cecina to start the year, then fell to Fountain Central by 10. That's a future sectional opponent for Faith Christian.
Yeah, and I think, Faith Christian walks away from this game, obviously still plenty of time left, but win or lose, I think you're very pleased with the performance you've put on tonight, especially like we mentioned, you consider your number 1 ball handler was out with foul trouble for a big portion, and you still did a nice job of limiting your turnovers for the most part.
Saltz bluffs the 3, puts it on the deck, bumps into Haste, and a traveling violation against Jillian Saltz, who's really started to put her stamp on this game here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, she's consistently been the number 1 scoring threat, obviously, for Carroll. Didn't get off to the hottest start, obviously nailed that first 3, and then she kind of went away a bit in that first and second quarter, but you said it, really stepping up when the game is on the line here and tightens up and becoming that main threat for the Carroll Cougars.
She has scored all 7 of Carroll's points here in the fourth. A long 2 from McCain doesn't go. And it's the property of Eliza Reinhardt, who has switched back to her point guard position here in the fourth quarter, like she was a year ago, has been the primary 2 guard through the first 2 games of the year. Reinhardt weaves, goes in, and gets fouled on the take.
And if you're Faith Christian there, you just cannot let one person beat you that on that many levels. From breaking the pressure across the half court to then the 3-point line, and she dribbles all the way into the post, drawing the foul there. It's just too simple and one-dimensional for Carroll to beat the Eagles on that one down the court.
4th personal foul on Hannah Bolton. Reinhardt's made 2 free throws in a row. And it stays that way. She's now 2 of 5 from the stripe for 8 points. Faith Christian almost turns it over to the backcourt. Haste picks it up. Schroeder now defending her, but you can see Saltz back there waiting and kind of anticipating Haste in case she tries to drive into the paint.
Yeah, smart play by Carroll there. Haste is capable of getting down into the post, but a nice take. But unlucky for Music to get it in. I like the 1-2 game there, though. She had Haste with her. I don't mind the take at all because Saltz is almost cheating over there and Haste a little bit. Unlucky not to finish it. But, I've been impressed with Music's ability to create on the offensive end for Faith Christian.
Even more so with those 4 personal fouls, right?
Yeah, she has to be a little bit controlled, not only on the defensive end, but it's easy, especially on a layup like that, to go right back up and stay with it and get a quick, cheap foul called on you. And she's done a nice job of just playing composed, I would say.
McCain tied up with a defensive rebound. Possession arrow pointing towards Faith Christian. 2:45 left to play in this one. The Eagles trying to beat Carroll for the first time in the last quarter century. 9-0 in the last 25 years of the Cougars against Faith Christian. Hayes triple team to the paint. Ball got knocked away. That allows her to use her dribble. Out to Music for a 3. It died on the back of the rim and then softly cascaded in.
You say triple team, I would beg to argue quadruple teamed. Hayes was on the post that time, but again, the awareness and the IQ to kick it wide, find their good shooter from behind the arc, and Music with a nice friendly bounce in for the three.
She's 4 of 6 from three-point range tonight. Went for the steal. Isley able to angle it in. First field goal tonight for Isley. Foul on the sideline, keeps it here with Faith Christian.
And that's sort of the first, not the first reach and foul, we'll call it, but I will say the first, I think, half-court press there foul you've really seen from Carroll that was forced on by Faith Christian, being able to drive past them. Haven't seen that a lot, and that's just because Carroll's so disciplined on the defensive end.
Tonight's game presented by the Willow Creek Barn. Attention all engaged couples. Discover why the Willow Creek Barn has been voted the Knott's Best of Weddings for 4 years in a row. Nestled just outside Frankfort, Indiana, our venue offers stunning indoor and outdoor ceremony options with breathtaking photo opportunities. We provide the perfect backdrop for your dream barn wedding. To start planning your unforgettable day, visit thewillowcreekbarn.com. That was the venue for our co-worker Sean Walker's daughter's wedding back earlier this fall. A lovely ceremony from all reports involved, from the paparazzi there following the Sean Walker daughter's nuptials.
My invitation must have gotten lost in the mail. I'll
Same.
take it up with Sean.
Same. Well, you know how Sean Walker rolls. It's an exclusive VIP
Very
affair.
tough.
And I'm sure you were just on the cutoff line. The cutoff line was there. We heard it was
I think we're right there.
We heard it was a 200 guest event. I'm sure you were 201.
And you were probably 202.
I was probably 301, but that's okay. It's fine. No hurt feelings.
There's always the next one.
That's
I
right.
suppose. Got to have something to aim for.
Out of the timeout, Carroll going back to that zone defense with her pressing it higher above the three-point arc right now. Saltz out pressuring the ball with Smart having it in her hands, but maybe too aggressive there for Jillian Saltz as she gets called for the foul.
Yeah, and Smart doing a nice job there of just pivoting, trying to find some opening, creating some space, and frustrating enough to Jillian Saltz where she gets the reach in.
Kick out three, off the heel by Bolton. Offensive rebound, Haste, and she's able to put it in.
Yeah, and Haste again, just a nice spin move down on the block. When they're able to find her in the post, she's so effective. They went away from it a little bit at the beginning of this fourth quarter. She had to carry the ball a little bit more, and you can really see that's kind of when the offense sputtered down a bit for the Eagles.
Saltz trying to create. Carroll knowing the clock is their friend here in the fourth as we approach a minute left to go, and the Cougars in front by 9. Haste couldn't get the ball away from Schroeder. Driving, Isley throws it up too strong. Another rebound there for Julia Smart. She's been great in that category tonight for the Eagles.
Yeah, being a really big key part of their rebounding efforts this game, and that's what she gives you. Another just telegraphed pass there into the post, and that's what you get when you're Joanna Haste and you've had the type of game you have tonight.
Isley spins out of a double team on the half-court trap. Less than 30 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Faith Christian has elected not to foul. And it looks like Carroll will hold on and pick up their third win to start the season and move to 3-0. But they were pressed tonight by the Faith Christian Eagles.
Yeah, great effort by the Faith Christian Eagles. The 1A team coming in and really putting up a fight. You mentioned it, and they'll go down second year in a row with a single-digit game here. So, again, Faith Christian a little bit every year just progressing as a program.
Yep, final buzzer sounds. And Carroll able to be victorious tonight, 49-40 over Faith Christian, moving their all-time record against the Eagles to 10-0. We jump right in to the post-game show presented by the Willow Creek Barn, where nature's beauty meets rustic elegance, and she was more of a distributor and kind of facilitating things early on. But our player of the game, Jillian Saltz, she finished with a game-high 18 points, including 7 of the 10 points that Carroll scored in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and a great fourth quarter there by Jillian Saltz. Really took over it, took responsibility for that offense. And you mentioned it, playing that facilitator role early on, and moving forward through this season, she becomes the matchup that any team has to solve, because you can deny her the ball, you can keep the ball away from her, she still impacts the game, whether it's on that turnover, the transition game. Her defense was fantastic. Really just the high IQ, composed leader of this Carroll Cougars team.
She's been challenged to become more of a complete player, and she really has. She was her story is amazing. She's was a JV player freshman and sophomore year, and then her head coach Brady Weil said she's now evolved into a top 10, top 12 player here in the entire area. Jillian Saltz, our player of the game tonight, presented by the Frankfurt Eagles. Saltz, we mentioned, with the game-high 18 points. She had just 5 of them in the first half, came to life in the second half, and was 2 of 5 from three-point range. And I think the one thing, though, Kristen, that you mentioned that kind of goes maybe unlooked, even though you have great offensive highlights like this, Saltz was great on the block defensively, and then when they needed her to play up top in that zone, she was just as comfortable up there too.
Absolutely, and that confidence is going to continue to carry them throughout the season. You know, you talk about Joanna Hayes tonight for, for Faith Christian, really being difficult to stop with Music not in the game as much. When that ball game into the post, Jillian was not afraid. Saltz was able to step up. She reads the game well defensively, forces those turnovers, and again, she can be very silent in the box score and still be incredibly important on the court.
2 double-figure scores for Faith Christian tonight. Music hit 4 of her 6 threes to finish with 12 points, and Johanna Haste finished with 13. Tonight's game was brought to you in parts by Day and Genda Funeral Home, putting family first. Healthy Communities of Clinton County, making the healthy choice the easy choice. Mulberry Telecommunications, your hometown fiber provider. The Frankfurt Eagles Post 976, people helping people. And the Willow Creek Barn, providing a picturesque setting for the barn wedding of your dreams. For our entire crew, spearheaded by director Elijah Mash, graphics tonight was Sam Waugh. Our camera operator was Tony Stewart. Not that Tony Stewart, the ISC Tony Stewart. And for our great analyst, Kristen Hazley, my name is Rick Johnston, saying so long from Carroll High School, where the Cougars defeat Faith Christian tonight by a final score of 49-40. You've been watching Indiana Girls High School basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Healthy Communities of Clinton County is committed to reduce the risk factors contributing to chronic disease, including health disparities by decreasing stigma and encouraging positive changes. HCCC is here for the community with systems of care navigators, insurance assistance, prenatal classes, mental health programs, substance use prevention, and more. To help make the healthy choice the easy choice, contact us at 659-60